and I'm cutting them.
But do you think Israel does have an image problem?
Yes, I do. I think there's a reason why some people are so quick to compare Israel to the Nazis. Israel, that is a democratic country that exercises unbelievable restraint. You know, during the war, I was asked to, by our Knesset, our parliament, to go to London. We were being smashed by some of the British media, most of it. And they said to me, what do you say? I can imitate a British accent, but you get the point. What do you say about all these civilian casualties in Lebanon? And I said, do you really want to go that route? And he said, yes. What about the horrendous number, which was close to 1,000, undoubtedly a tragic number? I said, well, the only way we can say if we are proportionate or disproportionate is to look at the only other example of a city rocketed by about the same number of rockets, 4,000 rockets, and that's London. And Churchill's response was to obliterate Dresden and close to, I think, altogether 200,000 German civilians. They were bombed by day, firebombed by night, deliberately. So we are disproportionate, disproportionately restrained, because we seek to just attack the rocketeers who are committing a double war crime, both rocketing civilians and hiding behind civilians, both war crimes under the Fourth Geneva Convention. So why do people resort to this lie? Number one, European guilt. They did nothing to help the Jews during the Nazi Holocaust. And by comparing Israel to the Nazis, they absolve themselves and they say, you see, the Jews are just as bad. We're not. But they're very bad in making that comparison. We don't have that problem in America. I think the American people are eminently fair. By and large, the American media, which you occasionally castigate, and I appreciate your puncturing of hypocrisy and falsehood. But on the whole, the American people have it right, and they know who the bad guys are and who the good guys are. And we're fighting the same war against the same common enemies who are barbaric and evil. People who blow up children in a bus or smash into buildings and kill thousands of people, or poison, try to poison airline passengers. These people are evil. They should be stopped.
And one of the concepts that was quoted in this article that I was trying to raise was that the world seems to want it both ways with the Jews. When they went to their slaughter, as they have been accused of in World War II, they said, how could the Jews do that? How could they let the Nazis just line them up and march right into the gas chamber? But then when they defend themselves, somehow the Jews are doing it without showing restraint. It seems to me the world just doesn't like it when the Jews win.
I think there's something in what you say, but I think it has to do with something related close by. I'll tell you what it is. For about 2,000 years, the Jew was the perfect victim. I mean, we had no land, no army, no government, no way to defend ourselves, so we were slaughtered with happy abandon by sundry nations and movements and crazies. But having been a perfect victim, we were always perfectly moral, because if you're just on the receiving end of tremendous violence, pogroms, massacres, expulsions, Holocausts, then you are perfectly moral. And the world got used to the idea that the Jew is a victim. Now, when we refuse to be a victim, after the latest and greatest pogrom, the Holocaust, took place, we reestablished our state, raised an army to defend ourselves. Now we are on the world scene, and we have to fight these terrorists, and we have to decide what to do when they rocket us from civilian neighborhoods, and we take action, and occasionally, unintentionally, of course, civilians get killed. Now we've deviated from that perfection of powerlessness into power. And I think there's a real historical adjustment that is yet to take place in the perception of a large portion of mankind towards the Jews. Well, we refuse to be victims, and we're not going to be annihilated again, and we will defend ourselves with the same moral code that any democratic and normal society would apply to itself. We're just not going back into those gas chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. I hope you rejoin us when you are the Prime Minister again. Thank you. Benjamin Netanyahu.